So I recently acquired a Ross, 1983 Ross mount hood. It's one of the first years they made the bike. This is an actual photo of it right here. This is what the bike would have looked like built up. This is not the actual bike, but this is the exact model. Same size. And here's another view of it coming up. Here's the other view. It's quite a large frame. It's for people that are at least 6 foot, 6'1" or taller. And all I have is a frame and fork for this bike. So I have a bit of a problem with some rust on the fork. And I have been at work on the fork, and it has some couple stuck bolts, and I will show you those. So here is the rusted fork with that stuck bolt right there in the frame, rusted in there. In fact, so rusted that I broke it off trying to get it out. And you can see there's a bit of rust on the fork there, some pitting. So I go ahead and strip all the paint off and get most of the rust off it. Some of the rust I'm gonna have to grind off. So here I am using some chemical stripper and a wire brush I use to get all that paint off. And most of the rust, I use some rust remover. There's that stuck bolt that I broke off, and just going at it. And here I'm going to show you the bolt once the paint's removed. There's a Tange dropouts on that, 40 years old, and there it is stuck in the frame. And a good buddy of mine helped me. We used this drill press and we drilled it out and got those removed.
Just keep cleaning it as it goes. Oh, okay.
Or a basket or something. I need it. And it's wrong to have it stuck in there
Okay.
if I'm gonna restore it.
Let's see.
Got it. Look at that. Is it? I mean, this thing is threaded. But was it threaded in there? Or is there any threading?
I don't see any threading, but you can take a look and see if you can get a light angle that.
Nah, there's no threading in there. So one of the things is we kind of knocked some of the threads out of this on the drop out of the fork. So I got a tap. It's just a hard piece of metal. This thing's really hard, and it is designed to tap threads. So I'm going to chase the threads on the good stuff by just, putting it in there and kind of chase the threads. So here goes. And I can feel it going in. I'm not really doing anything right now of any substance, but with the threads yet. And I'm just going to put some oil, a little tenacious oil, make sure that's not cross-threaded, and just turn it. So one of the issues I had with the fork was, quite a bit of rusting and pitting in this area. So I've been working on this. I took a Dremel tool with a stone. Gently I've been going across this and getting some of those pits out and smoothing it up. And then I'll get it even finer with sandpaper and get it all smooth. and this will get primed and painted black again like it was. Gotten a lot of those pits out, a few, and then this is the major. Probably can't see this here. I'll have to redo the shot. This has been a big, I've been working away on this. This is a big rust pit, so I'm gonna grind that down to a point and get some of this stuff off. But then I think I'm going to actually fill it with silver solder and then smooth it out and then prime it and paint it. And you'll never know. You'll never know. I hope. So, yeah, it's kind of a bad pit. I don't want that to show up. I can make that, I can go away in my final painting. We shall see. Have to do a lot of sanding. So I've gotten this to a point where I am ready to prime it and clean it. Well, I've sanded it to a point where I'm ready to stop. So the first thing I have to do is mask the areas, say that right, the areas I do not want paint to go. So it'll be here where the headset crown goes, and then on these parts where the brakes go, and then down here on these threads I will put stuff in. I will show you, and that stuff is aluminum foil. You just put that in there and it comes out easily and protects the threads, and of course up here these threads. So I will paint from about here down, and then all this, prime it first, but I have to start masking it, and it's so hot out there today. I'm working inside. It's just too crazy hot. That should do it. Just keep the paint out of the threads. Might have to chase it again, but with the tap, but yeah, good enough. Now, the next step is to wipe all this down with, I'm going to use rubbing alcohol to get all the oil off of it, and use gloves. String it up and prime it. It's nice and hot outside. It'll dry pretty fast. Well, I found my bottle of 100% acetone, which is going to be better than alcohol, I believe. So I'm going to use that to remove any residual oils, and just use a nice rag and just wipe this down. This way it won't, if there's any oil or dirt on there, it won't interfere with the adhesion of the primer. So just see, I mean, it's got stuff on there. Still a lot of just all kinds of gook I've gotten off of this, you know? So, yeah, all that stuff that's coming off would interfere, in theory, with the primer sticking to the metal. So you want the metal nice and clean. The key to good painting is in the prep work. Chunk on there. You can't see it with your eye until you wipe it down. That's pretty clean. Time to hang it up and prime it. Well, this is kind of scary. As I was shaking this can, it kind of exploded on me, and it didn't really explode, but the bottom popped out. I heard it pop. It's been in my shed, which is really hot in there. So anyway, I think it's fine. I'm just gonna leave it here out of the way. But I'm gonna go over here and show you. This stuff dries really fast out here. It's 90. So there's the first coating of primer, and it will fill in a few of the spots. You know, maybe some of the dings and things. I'm gonna be a nerd and wet sand the primer, and then maybe even put a second coat of primer on, because it just dries so fast. I can get this painted today out here, you know. So yeah, there's like a few little things. They're minor. For a 40-year-old beat up fork, man, this thing's gonna look better than it probably came out of the factory. So this is after the first couple coats of primer, and it's pretty dry. I'm gonna wet sand it now. And the primer filled in a lot of pits. You can see that. There's a little bit of blemishes on there before, and they're all filled in. The top, now that deep pit that I had on there before, I'm just gonna let that fly. It's part of the charm of it being old. It's tiny, but I'm gonna wet sand this to smooth a lot of these rough globules off of this. But it's looking pretty darn good, and I'm gonna, after I wet sand it, it dries a good bit, I'm gonna start painting it. So here she is after a couple coats of paint, looking pretty darn good, and I think this is gonna wrap this video up. I've got a lot more work to do on this bike. I have to build it up, but I am not sure if I'm going to apply a clear coat on this. It might not need it. It's always good for protection, but this needs a cure for a number of days. I'm gonna leave it in my hot shed and let it just kind of cure, because it's soft. It might be dry to the touch, but the paint is really soft right now. So yeah, this needs to cure up for days, get really hard, even probably a week in the shed, and it'll be ready for install, which won't be a while, but I'm pretty happy with it. I've had problems. The reason I'm not going to do a clear coat is I've had problems doing that. I've had disasters where I've had to strip and paint again. I did something wrong, so I'm just happy with this. If this cures, I think this should be durable enough for my purposes. So there she is. Better than before, that is for sure. You can see that. There's still that tiny pit there. But anyway, there she goes. Here's to 40 more years of riding.